it's been a massive wave of change over the last decade.
Yes.
Now we've got a lot of the voice assistants integrating artificial intelligence. When you look to the future, what are the industries that are going to see even more change off the back of AI?
Okay, AI is really training computers, giving them methods that they can actually teach themselves and learn at such high speeds, millions of times a second, 1 billion times a second. No human being could do that kind of learning. To learn how to play games, to learn how to operate things, even to learn how to speak better, how people are using voice and words, if you feed enough data into them. But it's not like the way the brain works at all. It's just high-level computer stuff. It gives us big advantages in our lives. For example, being able to look at a scene and evaluate it for driving a car. Are there any things in the way that are obstacles that I should pay attention to? That kind of fast thinking isn't something that we know how to program it, and we know how to say it in a program necessarily, but we can teach a machine, learn it, and learn how to do it better and faster. There's a lot of data on the internet. You have a question about the world, and you're going to ask an assistant like Alexa or Apple's Siri, and all that data on the internet is just got to be sort of pre-scanned. Mm-hmm. But artificial intelligence is not like a brain. It's not like a brain who says, oh, here's what I'm being asked, and here's how I'm going to go find it. Yeah. No, never once has AI been asked, has it sat down and said, what should I do next? It just doesn't work like a human. It sees a picture of a dog, and it knows what a picture of a dog is better than a human, but it doesn't know that the dog has arms and legs and eyes.
Yeah. You look at the self-driving cars, you look at the robots that are becoming more and more agile and adaptable, and the question becomes, as businesses begin to benefit from that, some human jobs, many human jobs, are lost off the back of that. What's going to be the economic and social impact of AI?
I haven't bought into that. For one thing, computers replacing humans, it's generally a task, it's a very simple task done over and over. Robotics, machines that can assemble things on a factory very fast and do the same thing over and over, it's a dumb level job, dumber than no human being would be assigned such a dumb job unless they were totally dumb. But so it's not really a type of smartness. Now we're talking about artificial intelligence moving up the brain level, the thinking level. Machines for a long time have replaced muscles to build cars and do everything else, but now they're getting up to where, they can do some of what we call thinking, but it's not thinking like a real brain. I tried to point out in my example of show Google 80,000 pictures of dogs, and it still doesn't know what a dog is made out of. It doesn't take a self-driving car and show it every picture of every sign it's likely to encounter on a highway, and the unusual sign, it's still not going to know what it is. It's not going to know how to read words that somebody wrote on the fly. It's not going to be like the dumbest human driver in the world. I've seen many, many obstacles driving my partially assisted cars on the highway, and absolutely, I might take a drive for 4 days and 100 times have to correct it to avoid something that was kind of dangerous that no car system will see ever.
Let's talk about the future of startups. It's shaping up to be a big year for Silicon Valley, and you've got some of the names that are gearing up for an IPO. You got Uber, you got Lyft, you got Airbnb. What is the next generation of startups that you are watching?
Well, I'm not the business type, I'm the technology type. So I look for different technologies, and those are ongoing life things. Very often when I'm associated with a company, I urge them to hold off as long as you can from an IPO, because then you're no longer running your own company. Mm-hmm. The shareholders are, and your decisions are a lot different. So I'm not really looking at any specific technologies or companies, and I wouldn't think about them in terms of how do we get to an IPO anyway. It's just not how I think. I only think of how do we make a product and what will it do that's good for society.
Well, let's pick up on the tech angle. You've said in the past that you believe that Bitcoin is going to be the world's single currency, or you hope that it is going to be the world's single currency. We've seen massive value destruction in Bitcoin. Are you still a believer in that? Is that still a workable model for you?
I'm not sure I can buy that we've seen massive value destruction. I think we've seen massive value creation. There was, I think, a period of time, psychology will often drive like stock market dips in that. Oh my gosh, got to get out now, got to get out now. The psychology factor is kind of a fear thing. And there was this idea that, my gosh, Bitcoin might go up to $40,000 and it went up to $20,000. I had a lot of Bitcoin. I had some Bitcoin, but I did never as an investor. I only had Bitcoin to experiment with and find out how to buy and sell things around the world, how to travel, how to find restaurants that would accept Bitcoin, that sort of thing. And so when it went up high, I said, whoa, wait a minute. I do not want to be one of these people. I don't invest in any stocks. I've never used Apple's stock app. I don't want to be one of these people watching the price of Bitcoin, so I sold out. And I don't know where it is now, but wherever it is, it's way over what I bought. And I still experiment with it on new Bitcoin devices and all.
We've seen tech leadership across the board get into quite a bit of trouble online. And I'm thinking here of Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg. I'm thinking here of Jack Dorsey on Twitter. When you see these issues, and you've spoken about this quite clearly in the past, what is the message that you want to send when you see these scandals?
First of all, I think Jack Dorsey's doing a lot more than Mark Zuckerberg to correct it. I lost a lot of respect for Mark Zuckerberg watching him speak and answer questions and supposedly taking some steps that are nothing, not one nickel or one penny of Facebook's income. And I don't trust that. Now, there's a company in the social web called Foursquare out of New York. And Foursquare, you rate different restaurants and places you go and companies, and they keep a lot of data. They have been offered millions of dollars for their data on the users, and they've turned it down because it was unethical. So you can make a choice and still have it. You can draw the line at a good place and not a bad place. I quit my Facebook account, and I've really never used Twitter.
Is it time for the government to get more involved? I mean, there are a few legislative efforts, but clearly that needs to be taken up more seriously.
Probably. Regulation is good. Regulation is a thing that says companies will not do certain bad things, or governments will not do bad things. We have a constitution, and the Bill of Rights in the Constitution, everyone is written. The government shall not pass a law. Congress shall not pass a law. It says the government will not do certain bad things. And that kind of regulation we need some of when things are getting bad. And the United States is way behind Europe on recognizing a lot of these issues of data privacy and all.
We've got the Mobile World Congress underway, 5G and many other technologies in focus. What are you most excited about?
I used to track a lot of stuff that was going on in the mobile world and cell phones. Every day I wanted to look, what's newest coming out in cell phones, keep up with it, and I'd buy the latest products. Many of them I had. And now I've lost that interest. I don't know why. I'm more interested in things like the new television sets that are coming out, the 4G, 5G television, 8G televisions, 8K televisions. I don't know that I'm going to benefit from 5G or that I really feel the need for an increase in bandwidth, on cellular bandwidth right now. So that's not going to impact me much. Things I'm interested in electric cars, where they're going, what their benefits are, what their problems are, and the infrastructure for them. Right now, yeah, so I'm sort of at a low point. But I'm waiting for Apple to come back in the game too.
Okay.
Yeah, with something really new and outstriking.
Is that what needs to be done from Apple's side, given what we've seen from Samsung? There's a sense that Apple's falling behind in the innovation game.
Well, Apple has been the leader for quite a long time in a few areas, such as Touch ID, Facial ID, and easy payment with a phone. They were the leader, and everyone else had to follow. But they're not the leader in things like the folding phone, and that worries me because I really do want a folding phone. It's one of those new technologies that does catch my attention.
Yeah.
So Apple, but Apple always has surprises. Working on a lot of things in the background. They just got so successful with the iPhone that was their whole business for a long time. Now they're branching out into a lot of their services are very good. And I'm looking for Apple TV to expand and come on. Right now I kind of prefer my Roku, but
the big story in the news right now is the trade standoff between the US and China. It appears that progress is being